sure by now most of you have been following the past few days' events. If you haven't, then I'm not talking to you and don't care to talk to you. I'll go ahead and tell you up front, I'm not real happy right now. In fact, I'm a little bit ticked off. But I'm going to try to keep this as calm and G-rated as I can. People have got to start learning that elections have consequences. It's a big problem that exists right now where people can't wrap their heads around that for whatever reason. They either refuse to or don't want to or are incapable of it or whatever. But elections have consequences. They have physical, tangible consequences. When you vote, you are giving someone power to do things. To do things to you, to do things to others, to do things to the country. And that applies from your local city councils and mayors and county commissions to state legislatures, governors, all the way up to the federal level. As you all know, we seem to have possibly a new president-elect. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying things that are really ticking me off. And I've had just about enough. I don't like politicians. Okay, I'll just say that. I don't care what letter they got in front of their name. I don't like politicians, period. I don't like any of them. But we're going to have politicians in seats of power. So I vote to try to give myself, my family, and my friends, and those of like mind, to give my community, my country, the best possible chance under those people's power. Again, I don't like them. But I got to choose what's going to be the best choice because they're going to go into power. Somebody's going to get voted in. You can choose to not vote if you want to, but somebody's going to get voted in. You might as well have a say-so in it. You might as well try to get the best option possible. Too many people like to be narrow-minded voters. They get stuck on one little thing that they're either for or against, and that's all they focus on. They absolutely refuse to see the bigger, broader picture of who and what they're voting for, the consequences thereof, or the unintended consequences thereof. People on the conservative side, libertarian side, etc., are horrible about this. And one of the problems is I'm seeing all over the place right now people saying that, okay, well, the new president-elect has apparently won the election and President Trump lost. So now we need to unify and come together. Bullcrap. That's the problem right there. You're going to try to unify and come together with people that want you dead, that want your businesses destroyed, that want your families dead, that want this country destroyed. You want to come together with those? That's what you want? And that's not hyperbole. Half this country potentially just voted for someone who's openly and not so openly stated they want you dead. They want your business destroyed. They want this country dead. There's people marching in the streets still right now carrying signs saying those exact words. And they voted for these people. And you want to sing Kumbaya and come together with them. And you expect me to as well. No. I don't have to do that. I don't have to try to make nice and be friends and unify and sing Kumbaya with somebody that wants me and my family dead. Doesn't work that way. Everybody's talking about peaceful transition of power and coming together under unity. What did the other side do for the last 4 years? And let me just state for the record again, I'm not a big diehard Trump supporter. There's things about him I like and things about him I don't like. Now I'll go ahead and tell you that's who I voted for, because I see a bigger picture, and what he would give us is more time to prepare for what's inevitably coming. But the last 4 years that he's been in office, did you see the other side talking about unity? Name me one time, one location, one place where any of them talked about coming together and unifying for the country. One time. You know what they've been doing for 4 years? Lying, cheating, making up false claims, trying to illegally impeach a duly elected president based off of lies and falsehoods. They have been rioting in the streets, burning down buildings, killing people. Unify? Come together? Really? You don't see what they've just done for the past 4 years, and now you expect us just to roll over and, okay, well, he won. Let's just get along. They want you dead. That is not hyperbole. They have stated they're carrying signs in the streets right now saying they want you dead. And they voted for these people who are willing to do just that. Elections have consequences, physical, tangible consequences. They affect people's livelihoods. They affect people's jobs. They affect people's lives. It can cost people lives. What is it that some of you can't see about that? I still see people on the right, on the conservative side, the libertarian side, etc. Oh, well, the courts will impede anything that these people try to do, or the Senate, we still got the Senate, and that'll do it. So, it'll be okay. We just gotta, make it through the next few years. You really believe that? That didn't work when conservatives had huge majorities in all those institutions. You think it's going to work now, where there is no huge majority? Somebody even made a comment about the Senate. Do you realize that the Senate is just a couple of votes away from the Republicans losing the majority in it? And even if they do maintain the majority, it's only going to be by 1 or 2 seats. And there's at least about a half dozen rhinos in there that will vote for anything and everything that the Democrats want to push through. You're going to put your faith in the Senate? How blind do you have to be? Don't sit there and tell me that I'm supposed to be all friendly, nicey nice, and I'm not going to not be friends with somebody just because they voted different than me. We're not discussing and debating and voting on whether vanilla cake or chocolate cake is the better cake. We can do that. We can debate that. We can discuss it. We can vote on it. And at the end of the day, we're still fine. We can get along just fine. That's not what we're voting on. That's not what we're talking about. Voting in elections, giving people power that will completely alter and change your life up to including people dying. See red flag laws for examples of that and more. And you want us just to get along, to be nicey nice. It's okay. We're going to pretend that they didn't say all those things that they said and pretend that they're not going to do the things they've said they're going to do. I don't even know why I'm bothering doing this, because I know a lot of it's going to fall on deaf ears, and I'm not going to change anybody's mind, because nobody's going to change my mind at this point. If you can't see what's going on by now, then there's nothing I can say or do that's going to change your mind and wake you up to see. I'll even give you some more examples, just because I'm just doing it. Start watching the whole industry. Let's narrow it down just to the firearms industry and everything related to the firearms industry. Start watching how many people are going to pretend like everything's normal, everything's fine. Oh well, election's over, life goes on. It's okay, we'll just get back to normal. Get back to doing whatever. Watch how many people start doing that. Watch how many videos start coming out on that. Watch how many media posts start coming out on that. I'll tell you right now, anybody that is not promoting publicly to you, I'm trying to figure out how to word this right, to start seriously practicing, to seriously train, to seriously prepare from here on, is a fraud and doing a disservice to you and everybody that's watching them. In fact, I'll even throw this gauntlet down. If you see people right now, let's just narrow down just to the firearms community. People that are putting up videos, given this time where ammo is scarce to non-existent or completely unaffordable when it is existent, that are putting up videos where they're just out having a lolly jolly good time, blasting away around, shooting at dirt clods, and all giggly and giddy. Think about that. Think about who can do that right now. Now, I'm not saying you can't still have fun. By all means, you still got to find some joy in life and have fun. But start taking things seriously. Start looking at what's being told to you. Start looking at some of these firearms influencers who are just telling you, let's just go have fun with this sport and hobby. If you still think firearms ownership is a sport and a hobby at this point, get the frig out of here. If you're going to put up videos and post people just blasting through rounds for no reason, every round you fire right now, and any of you that are in positions to influence people, every round you fire right now needs to be with a purpose and an intent of what the Second Amendment's about. It better be training. It better be preparing. Fun and games time is over, people. I hate to be the one to be the bearer of that bad news, and I know this ain't going to win me any friends. But you know what? I don't do this to win friends. Fun and games time's over. It's been over for a long time, but it's even more over now than it ever was. There's a lot of disingenuous people out there. And there's a lot of people in the gun industry and the firearms industry that are simply in it for the money. They don't believe in it. They don't appreciate it. They just like the money that comes from it. And maybe even the fame and popularity. Find people who get on here or anywhere and talk about the true intent of the Second Amendment without talking about sports and hobbies. That's what you need to be looking for. Start looking for instructors that are going to teach you real skills of real fighting, real survival, real preparedness. Not square range theatrics. But hey, if you want to go impress your buddies with your split times and knock yourself out. Some of the most useful classes I've ever had fired less than 200 rounds of ammo over the course of 3 days. But every shot that was fired counted. It did something. It accomplished something. And there was a whole lot of skills worked on besides just pulling that trigger. Oh, and another thing. Stop talking about burying your guns. Instead of burying them, sell them or go chunk them in a river or a lake or something like that. Because if you bury them, you ain't ever digging them up. You can take that to the bank guaranteed. So I've seen tons of that lately. Let's get back to the main point though. Because I'm going to hammer this nail like a freaking bat out of you-know-where. Half this country openly stated and voted for your death. Oh, you're being over dramatic. Am I? When they're marching in the streets carrying signs saying that? When the people they're voting for have openly said they're going to implement policies that will cause just that? You don't think people will die from that? It'll cost people lives everywhere. American citizens, American military. It'll cost lives. Pray to God it's not somebody that you love or yourself. Because that's going to do a lot of good while you're attending a funeral. Well, at least we come together with them and sang Kumbaya after the election. In fact, I say go a step further. Start unfriending people. Start acknowledging the reality of the situation. And I know some of my own friends probably won't even agree with this video, and that's okay. It's not that they disagree with what I'm saying. They just think I'm probably wasting my time doing it. There's 2 things you need to do from here moving forward, people. Number 1, you better be getting ready. I did a video earlier this year, and that was the title of it, Are You Ready? There are things potentially coming. Let's just take politics out of the situation. There's things potentially coming that it won't matter who the president is. It won't matter who's in Congress. There's things that could be coming that at best they can't even stop or control. At worst, they can hasten upon us and compound and make it even worse than what it potentially will be. You need to be training and preparing. Every chance you get. And you better be looking at who to vote for to buy you time. It might not be the ideal candidate. And right now I'm going to talk to a lot of you libertarians. I've got a lot of libertarian leanings. A lot. But I look at the bigger picture of who's going to buy me the most time. That's why I voted for Trump. Because I live in the real world and I know what's realistically possible and not possible. And we're going to vote for the person that's going to buy me and mine the most time to do what we need to do. That doesn't mean you sit back and don't do what you need to do in the meantime, though. You still got to do it. But you better start looking at the candidates and you better start looking at them with a bigger picture. I don't like any of them. Again, let me just reiterate for those of you that are hard of hearing or have IQ levels the size of an ant. I don't like politicians. I don't put my faith and trust and hope in them that they're going to fix anything or make it better. At best we can do is vote for the ones that will make it the least worst. Least worse, sorry. I don't want to vote for the ones that are going to freaking speed things up or compound them. Death is final, people. It don't matter how it happens to you or who's responsible. It's still final. These people are not your friends. They're not going to suddenly start loving you because their person's in power. They're not going to try to get along. For every inch you give, they're going to take 3 feet. Conservatives always want to compromise, and the left never does. It's always compromise on the right side. But now I'm just repeating myself. Go ahead though. Come together with them if you want. Go sing Kumbaya, and try to be bipartisan and compromise and get along, and we're all just Americans. No, we're not. There are socialists and communists that want America gone. They want you gone. Why is that so hard for some of you to understand? Going to reap what you sow, America. And unfortunately, some of us are going to have to go along for the ride and with that reaping because we got no choice in the matter now. Because enough of you have been brainwashed and indoctrinated and refuse to think for yourself that not only have you let it happen, you're actively participating in it happening. You're implementing it. That's okay. That's okay. Not everybody's going to roll over. You're going to try to force stuff down people's throats, but not everybody's going to roll over. Not everybody's going to sit back like a good little comrade and accept it and let it happen. Not by a long shot. You're liable to start seeing a lot of black flags hoisted. In obvious ways, and maybe in some not so obvious ways. Got another video up. Georgia folks, y'all can help buy us some more time. Get out and vote in your 2 Senate elections that are going for a runoff first part of January. You can buy us a little bit more time, maybe. If those 2 people lose, it's guaranteed we don't get more time. If they win, it's no guarantee that we get more time, but it's possible that they can slow things down and get some more time. I'll take the possibility over the certainty. So please, if you're in Georgia, get out, spread the word, try to get as many people as you can to get out and vote and get the 2 Republican senators elected in the runoff elections that y'all have got coming. It's time to train and prepare like never before, people. Like never before. It's time to start making some hard decisions. It's time to square your headspace away and start figuring out where you're at, what you're going to accept, what you're going to believe, and if you're going to continue carrying on the status quo. I don't have to worry about not being friends with certain people because I don't have communists as friends to begin with, so I ain't going to worry about unfriending them. Not friends with communists. Not friends with socialists. Not friends with people that want me dead. Not friends with people that want my business destroyed. Maybe you better be thinking about that. And in addition to preparing like you never have before, you better pray like you never have before. You better start going back and looking at what the country was founded on and what made it so great to begin with. And it's a cliche saying, but there's a lot of hard, cold truth in it. You better get right with Jesus. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, there's a lot of you out there that understand what I'm saying and are smart enough to see it. Glad you're there. Glad you're there. Get ready. Because there's been a bad storm coming for a long time. But I think that storm just got upgraded from a Category 2 to like a Category 4. And if you know anything about hurricanes, we'll just use this as a little metaphor. Hurricanes feed off of nice warm water. Not only is that storm on the horizon just jumped up to a Category 4, a whole lot of warm water just got heated up in front of it. Plan and prepare accordingly. Be praying for you guys and praying for the country. See y'all later.